Right, adults banging kids, are you a weirdo? As somebody who writes manga in the fantasy setting and also writes series with children, how should you handle a story in which a character is technically a minor in the real world but an adult in the fantasy setting? As a world builder, I love this question, and don't come at me about talking shit about jobless reincarnation. I will always slander Diddy Tensei any chance I get. You can like the series, but don't defend Rudius. He's a PDF. End of story. But I digress. So as a creator and world builder in a fictional setting that you are making up, I'm going to ask the question, why are your minors adults? Why are you taking a human being who we know in modern day with our advanced psychology and advanced sciences where we know this is not the case? Are you making it that situation in the fantasy setting? Like, what is the point of having a minor and an adult in a sexual situation? By the way, this is literally the God of Honor talking to his daughter. Are you trying to tell something thematic through this decision? Is this decision to have these minors act as adults critical to the story? And if you are making kids do adult things, why are you choosing to make them do sexual situations? AKA, why are you showing us, the reader, this situation that you're putting them in? Because there's nothing inherently wrong with making a 15-year-old an adult in a fictional world. Just like there's nothing wrong with having a shonen feature a cast of 15, 16-year-olds in high school. But when you choose to then make fan service of these minors, that's a problem. I was from prison school, where the only confirmed age is the main character, who's a 15-year-old boy. He's a first-year student, which means that woman that you saw being a third-year student means that she is 16, 17. Sexualizing minors is Diddy work. Well, how do I handle that stuff? It's simple. I don't put 15-year-old and other minors in these type of situations. Like in Deep Stalker Crow, Mercy was originally going to be 16. And when I realized this series is going to be more adult and Mercy might be put in an adult situation, I made her 18. There are ways around having characters that are minors explore sexuality and all that kind of stuff. Hell, it's a staple in storytelling, a coming-of-age tale in dealing with those emotions. But that's the thing. It breaks down to how you execute it. And I'm going to show you how I handle two situations that I'm pretty proud of. One is Veronica just saw a girl get murdered, and she's in the bathhouse with her mother. Notice how these shots are framed. And even when Lady Petals and Orc comes there and picks Veronica up, I'm always cognizant of how I'm framing my shots. In some of the shots, like, you should realistically be able to see the grown women's breasts. But because I didn't want to add any level of sexualization to that scene, it helps establish the tone. It gets the point across of what that scene is supposed to do, which is to show vulnerability between the head knight of Homer, the primordial knight, Lady Petals, and Veronica, while also establishing the culture that the God of Honor set up when he had his kingdom still standing. It was a kingdom where bathhouses were a community spot. They were not viewed as something taboo. Families would go there after work. Which is why Alicia didn't freak out when Petals picked her daughter up and took her away. And pretty much everyone that's read that scene that I've asked, does it give off any lewd vibes, has confirmed my intent. No, it doesn't. And some parents have come forward and said, like, yes, you handled that very appropriately. And then the second shot is from later on, where you have a bunch of different species that are forced to interact with each other in the bathhouse. In this shot, you have all these different people from 8 to 14. But look at how they're interacting. They're not focused on the naked part of them. They're not focused on the sexuality of it. They're focused on the uniqueness of these different species, except for the kids that got brain matter on them. But we took a moment that was framed from a lens of a cultural exploration, rather than if we had framed any of those shots with nipples or groping or frame shots that could be sexualized. The entire intent of that scene would have been ruined. But to close this out, I want to focus on one more aspect, and that's what happens when a species does not age like a human, and you put them in adult situations. The easiest way to get around this is if they are a minor looking person, don't sexualize them. Do not put them in sexual situations that can be framed from a sexual lens. And yes, SA, depending on how you frame it, can be considered non-con erotic content. And that also goes if that species that is technically 40 years old but has the mind of an 8-year-old, that's still no-go. Because being a child is two components. It's mindset and physical appearance. And you can explore these, like in the mating manual, there are literally laws for dwarven protection youth and laws that establish a council to identify age of consent, and then laws that actually enforce the age of consent index. And every culture has it differently, but if there is a, less civilized place that bangs, 14-year-olds because they're adults, even if that is in the world, I will never portray it, at least on screen, because there is no value in you as a modern day human seeing that content. It does not sell the point that banging kids is bad. We should know it's bad. And it doesn't matter if it's in dark fantasy or not, it is only for exploitation at that point if you choose to portray it. And a really good way to show child exploitation in a brilliant way was Gacha Akira. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go read the manga or watch the anime because it handled it masterfully. But yeah, grab a copy of The Devil's Deal and Night of Slaughter while I still have some left.